Proverbs chapter 30, Mishle 30. The words of Agor, the son of Yake, the prophecy. The man says to Itiel and Ukal, I am more boorish than anyone. There's that word, boorish. Again, not a good word. I lack human discernment. I have not learned enough wisdom to know the Holy One. Now, here is an admittance. I'm boorish. I have no common sense. And I definitely haven't learned nearly enough wisdom to know the Holy One. You know, that's interesting, isn't it? It takes wisdom to know God. It takes wisdom to know the Holy One. That's why it says the fool has said in his heart, there is no God, has no wisdom. You know, interesting enough, people who can't see God or comprehend the concept of God or accept God have no wisdom. They're fools. You've all talked to people, and no matter what you say, you look at them and you go, why? But why? And you look and go, oh, they don't get it. You can see that what do they say? The light's on, but no one's at home. That's a boorish man. You know the type. You guys that partied in the world, you've seen them in your parties, you've seen them in the bars. They're boorish. Brutes is another word for it. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who's returned from heaven? Who has cupped the wind in the palm of his hands? No one. Who has wrapped up the waters in his cloak? No one. Who established all the ends of the earth? No one, human. What is his name? And what is his son's name? Surely you know. It's a very interesting verse, isn't it? What is his name and what is his son's name? Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Interesting, right? When you're messianic, you understand the prophecy of Yeshua, the Mashiach who's come, who went up and came back in 3 days. Elijah went up, but did he come back? No, except being conjured up by the witch. Oh, no, that wasn't Elijah. That was Samuel. But Elijah went up in a flaming chariot, right? Enoch went with God, never was, never died. And that's what many prophecies talk about, that they have to die. The two witnesses are Elijah and Enoch, that they have yet to come back and die. But speculation. But who has established all the ends of the earth? Who has wrapped up the waters in his cloak? Who has cupped the wind in the palm of his hands? It sounds like you're talking about the Creator. In one instance, it sounds like it's talking about a man as well. But he ends, surely you know who.
Well, so like you said, this is one of the most prophetic proverbs. Obviously, it doesn't really line up with the rest of Proverbs. It begins by saying, this is the words of Agur. It's no longer Solomon speaking here. We don't really know who Agur is, the son of Yake, but it's a prophecy. The Hebrew says Masa. So this is a prophetic statement, because notice what it says. What is his name and what is his son's name? The Son of God, Yeshua, the only begotten. If it's prophetic and it claims to be, then surely this is what it talks about. I mean, who else could apply for this? Who created the heavens and the earth?
It definitely appears, doesn't it? Every word of God is pure. He shields those taking refuge in him. Every word, every word. Heaven and earth shall pass away before one jot or tittle, one punctuation, one mark of it. Don't add anything to his word. If you add, it's added to your judgment. If you take, it's taken from you. Or he will rebuke you, and you will be found a liar. God, I have asked two things of you. Don't deny them to me as long as I live. Keep falsehood and futility far from me, and give me neither poverty nor wealth. Now, think about that. Two things I've asked. Now, it sounds almost like Solomon's prayer to some degree, but Solomon had prayed for wisdom to rule. But in this prayer, two things. Keep falsehood and fertility away from me. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let me be an honest man and not futile. Give me neither poverty nor wealth. We often say, not so poor that I curse you or so rich that I forget you. Yes, provide just the food I need today. Give us this day our daily bread. If I have too much, I might deny you. Isn't that the case? Every time people seem to be in need, they start to acknowledge God, particularly when they're looking for a new job or looking for a wife, say, or whatever it might be, or you're looking for a husband for you women. When you're in need, I just want healing. Lord, if you heal me, I promise you this time. Lord, if you give me this deal, I promise I'll always pay my tithes and offerings and I'll help the poor and the needy. You've all lied about that. You see, the object, what did he tell Israel? Don't forget who gave it to you, because you're going to go into a land and you're going to take vineyards you did not plant, houses you did not build. And that's not the case in the last 76 years here. They came into a swampland and they did plant the vineyards here and restore the land. They did build the houses. But when they left Egypt, they went into a land that had been corrupted by the previous tenants. And they took over. It's called the spoils. They took that land. God gave it to them because the tenants were horrible. You're going to take vineyards now and take over vineyards you did not plant. You're going to take over houses you did not build. So your wealth and your poverty. You get wealth, you forget God. You don't need him. You get poverty, you curse God.
Well, and that's what it says in Devarim chapter 30, 31, 32, the song of Moshe. Said, Yeshurun got fat, started kicking. He thought he got it in his own strength. My own strength have brought me all of this. No, but that's what you think.
And we all know that. People that live in the ghetto and the black community and my people group in America, we often say, oh yeah, they got too high and mighty. Now that they got a nice job and got high heel shoes, or he's got a new pinstripe suit and red shiny shoes, yeah, he acts like he doesn't know you anymore. Oh, they got so high and mighty, went off to college and got a degree, came back, and now they think they're smarter than me. Everybody starts to go away. Oh, he's famous now. No, he doesn't want to know you. He's hanging out with people from another tribe in another race. A lot of famous black people, they go, next thing you know, they don't hang out with other black people anymore. They're hanging out with anybody, and they don't marry a black woman. Most of the black men, no, they got it. They go for a blonde woman after that. It's, oh, I'm above my people. I'm above race. I'm in the upper echelons of the Western society. Now, forget marrying a black woman. Now I'm going to marry a blonde one or a foreigner. You start to forget where you come from. That's an expression. All of you people who are poor, black or white in America know the feeling. Now they want to pretend like they're not a hillbilly. That's President Vance. He got a degree at Harvard, and he became quite successful, wrote a book and everything else. So once a hillbilly, always a hillbilly. Then say, you're still a hillbilly. Still like turnips, don't you? And we all know that. It's kind of humorous, but we do know in life. So don't forget where you come from. If I have too much, I might deny you and say, who is Adonai? Who's God? I'm prideful. They wear pride. That's Psalm 73. Pride is their necklace. And if I am poor, I might steal and thus profane the name of God. I'm not trusting in God. I'm poor. I'm so poor that I have to steal and scheme and scam to get. Never disparage a slave to his master, or he will curse you, and you will deserve it. Think about that. Don't speak down about someone who works for someone else to that employer. There is a type of people who curse their fathers and don't bless their mothers. You know anybody like that? Or have you been like that? There is a type of people clean in their own view, Well, me and God have a personal relationship. I'm all right. There's nothing wrong with me. Clean in their own view, but not cleansed from their filth. Now, we all know what that's like. It's one thing to know that you need to be cleansed and know when you're honest with yourself of what you're struggling with or what you're guilty of, but it's so sad that when you put down other people knowing that you yourself are already struggling with something so dastardly yourself. If you're struggling with something so dastardly, you might want to be really humble when you are talking to other people and be more compassionate to them, because you might need somebody, if they ever find out what you're struggling with, to be compassionate to you. Don't be clean in your own view, but not cleansed from their filth. There are people like that. There is a type of people, how haughty their look, Psalm 73, utterly supercilious. We know the type. The highbrow is what we call them in America and in the British and the English. There is a type of people whose teeth are like swords. Yes, their fangs are knives. They devour the poor from the earth, the needy from humankind. How horrible. And most of the ills in this world are not because of God. You always say, I can't serve God because of this. That was done to you by somebody evil. That was done to you by someone not following God. That was done to you by a person who had no compassion for the Lord, that devour you. People that look to devour you, destroy you, take advantage of you. Don't blame God. It's a human. For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Most of our troubles are not because of the Lord, because of somebody else who's hurt or broken, mad or run by a demonic force. The leech has 2 daughters. They cry, give, give. 3 things are never satisfied. 4 never say enough. The leech has 2 daughters on both sides. They're never satisfied. They never say enough, never satiated. Sheol, that's considered the place of ill repute, where we go away from God. It's always looking for someone else to bring down to Abaddon, to hell, to Hades, in a barren womb, a woman that cannot give birth. The earth, never satisfied with water. It drinks it no matter what. The earth never spits out water. That water, it's always soaking it up. And fire, which never says enough. It'll burn, and it'll keep burning. Those are the 4 things. They never can be satisfied. The eye that mocks his father and scorns obeying his mother. Now again, we're talking about an honorable father and mother, not your father and not your mother that were drunks and meth addicts or abusers or molesters. You know, when the word often talks about father, it's always giving the benefit. I was talking about a father who's training up his children and a mother who's honorable, pure. But the eye that mocks his father and scorns obeying his mother will be pecked out by the ravens in the valley. Sounds like a Stephen King novel. And the vultures will eat it. You will lose your ability to see. 3 things are too wonderful for me. I'm glad we're into what's wonderful, because that darkness definitely wants me to think of something with more light. Now that we've talked about what's dark, an earth that can never have enough water, a fire that can never burn enough, a leech that can never suck enough blood, or just takes to kill you, people that devour the poor and the needy. But now, let's talk about the 3 things that are too wonderful for me. 4 beyond my knowledge. The way of an eagle in the sky. Well, you bird watchers love that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Watching the wonder, amazement of creation. How do they do that? They just flutter those giant wings. And they know what they're doing.
They fly better than any plane and any jet and any drone and anything that man has ever concocted in his imagination or by his metals and mechanics cannot compare to an eagle, a hawk in the sky. The way of a snake on a rock. Isn't that amazing to watch? Well, no, we don't like snakes, but it's amazing to watch. When we watch the nature video, Snake Island, don't watch it. Wow. Listen, and the little animals were trying to escape.
It was a horror movie.
It was a horror movie. The way of a ship on the open sea. Well, you sailors, you mariners, you watermen love that verse. The way of a ship on the open sea is a beautiful thing to see, isn't it? I'm not talking about cargo ships and cruise ships. Those are ugly and nasty. A real ship with a sail and a mast. Wow. The way of a man with a girl, a love. Why do you think romantic movies are the number one thing? Everyone loves a good love story. And the Lord's, it's the greatest love story of them all. Solomon spends a lot of time talking about that. This is how an unfaithful wife behaves. She eats, wipes her mouth, and says, I did nothing wrong.
Well, we all know those women, don't we?
3 things make the earth quake. 4 things it can't bear. A slave who becomes king. A boar gorged with food. A hated wife when her husband takes her back. And a slave girl who inherits from her mistress. All of those seem quite unfair, don't they? Unjust. What? The slave girl? They make the earthquake. It's a rather poetic. It doesn't mean literally the earthquake. But to the mind, the slave becomes king. A boar gorged with food. A hated wife when her husband takes her back. Takes her back. Well, the prophet had that situation, didn't he? She had become somewhat of a prostitute. I think it was Hoshea, and he had to take her back. And God said, that's what Israel does to me. I take her back after she's cheated on me. 4 things on the earth are small. Nevertheless, they are very wise. Oh, now you love these, don't you? The ants. And I cannot get enough fascination. We watched one year here in Israel called the Pokemon, I believe. They're like warrior black ants. They're huge. They're unbelievable. They're very wise. Nevertheless, a species not strong, yet they store up their food in the summer. The conies, a species with little power, yet they make their home in the rocks. The locusts, who have no king, yet they all march out in ranks. They do. And the spiders, which none of us care for, which you can catch in your hand, yet they are in the king's palace. Where can you go and not find a spider? It will find a way. One way or another, a spider's going to be in your house. No matter how clean you are, you look in the corner of that wall, you'll see a web.
Yep, you're not going to get rid of them.
No.
And that's the miracle, right? To humble us. We're thinking we're so high and mighty.
You got spiders.
Well, I'm the king. Well, the spider's going to get you.
The plagues of Pharaoh
And
in
the
his
ants?
palace. What was it? The frogs in his bed? The frogs in the palace?
The frogs, the locusts, the flies.
The flies in the palace. 3 things are stately in their stride. 4 of stately gait. Gait is the pattern of walking, of movement, your gait. The lion. We all see how the lion moves on the Serengeti. Mightiest of beasts, which turns aside for no one. Fearless. Fearless. brave, courageous. The greyhound. We've seen how the greyhound so majestically run. The billy goat. Well, the billy goat, you've seen them on the mountains, on the side of the mountains, thousands of feet up.
Just standing on a little pebble, licking salt.
Licking salt.
They don't fall.
The minerals from the rock. And the king when his army is with him. And of course, you've seen the great army, warrior, gladiator, Braveheart movies, and you see the king with his army. Very stately, noble, majestic. If you have been boorish, exalting yourself, or if you have been scheming, lay your hand on your mouth. Stop it. Stop it. For as pressing milk produces butter, and pressing the nose produces blood, so pressing anger produces strife. Stop causing trouble.